Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network, as we ask you to, well, give us that 5-star review, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, you know the drill, and we will so much appreciate it. Yes. As we get ready to welcome episode 74, and also celebrating Bill Stevens, as he had a birthday yesterday as we record this on a Monday.
Yes, as we record this on a Monday. Your birthday was yesterday. I got several messages, several dozen messages, including one from you, BJ Odom. So thank you for that. Appreciate the congratulations and the greetings. And as one of my friends said, congratulations, you made it around the sun one more time. I'm like, yeah, that's about it. That's about how I feel. So everybody said, ooh, special plans for the day? I said, yes, parking on my couch and watching 2 important football games.
You know what was really funny? I predicted the winners, but I was rooting for the opposite teams.
I know. I remember that. And I kind of grudgingly agreed with your predictions exactly as they went. You know, that Kansas City would beat Baltimore. That was kind of an ugly game for Baltimore. That was kind of ugly. I mean, they didn't look good at all.
It was actually, in my opinion, it was lost at the goal line.
Yes, that one.
Two plays at the goal line that they totally butchered.
Yeah.
And that's where they lost the game, really.
Yeah. And then last night, that was actually a much better game, even though it didn't turn out the way I wanted to. I thought, wow, Detroit, look at that, 14-0 in like the first quarter or something. And then it was kind of like the car ran out of gas. Sorry, Detroit reference.
Yeah.
The car ran out of gas, and San Francisco, who knew Brock Purdy could run? Who knew he had legs? But anyway, there you go.
Sometimes I wonder, I know they wouldn't, and I know that wouldn't be a plan, I don't think. But maybe sometimes, well, let's let them get a couple touchdowns and they'll start feeling real secure in themselves, and then whammy.
Yeah, who do you think would say that? Do you think the other team would actually say that? I can't believe that.
Yeah, I can't believe you'd do that either. But both of those games kind of felt like, well, we'll let them feel good about themselves, and then
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes if anybody were going to do it, I think Kansas City would be the one to like toy with you, kind of like the cat batting at the mouse, just before he snaps its neck. Sorry for the graphic analogy there, but kind of like playing with your victim a little bit, because sometimes you will see that Kansas City will call some pretty crazy plays, and it's like, where did that come from, Andy Reid? And it's, I think they're just, sometimes I think if anybody's going to be playing with you, I think it might be Kansas City. So anyway, bottom line, Kansas City and San Francisco in the Super Bowl. I cannot bring myself to root for Kansas City. I've said it last week and I said it again. Taylor Swift, nice lady. I'm sure she's great and wonderful and all that. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the Kelsey Taylor Swift thing. Can we put it into it, please?
Shake it off.
Oh my gosh. Shake it off.
People are complaining about it. They just show her when her man does it, like a great touchdown or a great catch.
But he's everywhere. He's everywhere.
But what's wrong with that?
Oh.
It's a lady showing how much she's excited about her man.
Oh, no, it's not.
What he does.
Oh, no, it's not. It's the NFL going, look, 16-year-old girls, we got Taylor Swift. You want to watch football, don't you? Every 16-year-old girl in the nation goes, yes, we want to watch football now. And the NFL goes, cha-ching. So, yeah, believe me, as a person who's studied and appreciates good marketing and that sort of thing, having a good message kind of a thing. I get it. It's solid gold. If you're Roger Goodell, if you're in the NFL office in New York this morning, solid gold. You are printing money. Well, the NFL prints money anyway, but even more. So anyway, all right. Enough of a rant. Who do you like, San Francisco or Kansas City? Who do you like?
Kansas City's going to win it.
Oh, do you really?
I actually said the Baltimore Kansas City was the Super Bowl.
Wow, really? Yeah, you might. I mean, I don't remember that you said that last week, but you certainly might have. And if you did, I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to respectfully disagree with that one. So I think after watching San Francisco pull some new rabbits out of their hat last night, like I said, with Purdy being able to run, like I never thought I'd see that. That would be like Baker Mayfield trying to run. I give him a better chance. I wonder what the morning line is. Now you got me curious. Now I'm going to have to look it up while we chat. What's the early betting line on the Super Bowl?
As you look it up, I will once again tell you that, in my opinion,
yes,
which my opinion doesn't mean squat diddly, but in my opinion, both games, the winning teams,
yes,
the coaches were the ones that won the game for the teams who won. They were
it almost always is. Yes, I agree with that. It almost always is. And Andy Reid is a genius. He kind of is. So yeah, I get it.
And also, on the other side with the 49ers, if they would have kicked those 2 field goals where they were in field goal range for sure,
right,
they would have won the game.
Right. I hear you. So to answer your question, just so we can kind of put a bow on this little discussion right now, and as we record this, as always, it's a Monday morning. We almost always record on the Monday, and the show comes out on Wednesday, so it'll probably change between now and Wednesday. But as we speak right now, I just looked it up. San Francisco is a 2-point favorite. 2-point favorite. So you'll give me I got to give you 2 points with San Francisco with Kansas City. Yeah, I don't like that, but I don't know.
I think they'll win it by more.
You think Kansas City will win it by more?
Yes.
Wow. All right, we might have to have a bet here before the we got time. So we got next week's show too, so.
What was really funny as I was watching the games and rooting for the losers.
Yes.
I was saying to myself, if I would have only bet on the people that I thought were going to win and took the spread, I would have been golden.
Yes. Believe me, I used to think that when I was in Cleveland. I would think that all the time. I could bet for the other team against the Browns. And if the Browns win, yay, I paid a few bucks for the Browns to win. If they lose, which they probably will, I'll just make a few bucks. Okay, good. It will calm my disappointment. It will make me, I'll have money to pay for the beer that I will cry in later.
Maybe I need to do that this coming season with the Bucks. Although I would have won, I would have lost more money than I would have won because I bet on them many times that they did win, and I would have bet against them.
I understand.
They fooled me. They were little foolers this season.
They did. They kind of. Well, let's not go out on a crazy limb here. Tampa Bay had a good season, but they were barely over 500.
Yeah, but still.
They got into the playoffs because that was their division, and everybody else, let's face it, sucked.
But they still fooled me a lot.
They sucked less than others in the division. Yes.
Because I never thought they'd make it out of the first game of the playoffs once they hit the playoffs, and they did.
I agree with you. Only to get beat by Detroit, and then we saw that, and we thought, oh, Detroit, they look pretty good. So okay, nice. So anyway, I get it. All right, that's fine. So you're taking at this point now. Like I said, we'll have another podcast episode next week before the Super Bowl. So at this point, you are taking Kansas City.
Yes.
At this point, I'm going to take San Francisco. We'll firm up the bet, whatever we decide on in a week's time. So we'll see how it goes. And I don't see things changing that much, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, good.
So you celebrated your birthday watching football. Any other?
I went over to St. Augustine in Jacksonville on Saturday with the lady friend, and we did our usual thing. She's house hunting, so we did some open houses, and then we went for dinner at a one of those little Texas Roadhouse steak places, which is one of our favorites, and celebrated my birthday there. Had a good night. So there you go. And then Sunday Sunday I took it easy. I mean, we were only together Saturday, and then Sunday I had the day to myself. So on my birthday, I did exciting stuff like repotted a plant. I have a couple of potted plants in my living room, and one of them needed repotting. So repotted a plant, did a little laundry, watched some football. How's that for exciting? When you get to be our age, that's pretty much it for your birthday.
I didn't pot a plant, but I got rid of a plant.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm saying about that.
I thought you were going to say, I was going to say, did you get potted? Okay, fine. Be that way. So yeah, there's that. So that's it.
That was it. That was it for your birthday, huh?
The birthday itself, the day, which was Sunday, yesterday, as we record this. Yeah, I really didn't do much of all. I mean, I got a lot of nice messages from a lot of family and friends. Mostly friends, because I don't have a lot of family, but from you and from a host of others, our friend, our old hypnotherapist friend, Miss Vicky, and I had a little text conversation for a while, and yeah, so it was fine.
I don't know if you noticed or not, but somehow the BJ and Bill Facebook page got a little action on people wishing Bill Stevens a happy birthday.
I did not see that. When did we might have mentioned it last week. All right, so now I got to go into the Facebook page today and thank all those people for their birthday greetings. Okay,
yes,
I can do that. I can do that.
Well, somebody went on the Facebook page and kind of made a post.
I see.
Told the world that Bill was maybe celebrating a birthday,
maybe getting older, maybe. Yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, so I'll head over today. I'll head over to the Facebook page today, and I will thank the throngs of people out there who are doing the thing. So,
well, I just have to ask this question though, since you brought up, you kind of celebrated your birthday at, the Texas Roadhouse,
right?
Did you get there before happy hour ended? So you got the $1 or $2 off of your meal?
I did not.
Man.
Now wait a minute. We were there early.
I don't know if it ends at 5 or 5:30. I think it's 5:30.
We were there before 5:30 for sure, because we ran out of open houses and it was like late afternoon. Well, let's go get and I even said that. I'm like, boy, talk about old folks here with the early bird dinners. I didn't get a deal. Was there a deal to be had?
If you look on the back of the menu, there's like 5 or 6 different things you can get at a reduced price if you get there during, before. It's either 5 or 5:30. I think it's 5:30.
It doesn't matter. I was there before 5 o'clock. I know that. It was kind of weird because I thought, 5, it was like 4:30, 5 o'clock when we walked in. I'm like, on a Saturday night, we should walk right in. No, it was crowded. Thank God we only waited for a table about 5 minutes, but it was plenty. So, but no, I didn't see the deal on the back of the menu. And now I'm kind of cheesed about it.
There's like 5 items. One of them is the 6-ounce sirloin. I think it's $1 or $2 cheaper than normal. So if you ordered and say, I want the early bird special,
I'm an old guy.
You probably paid $2 more for your meal than you should have. Oh,
it's.
Hopefully the girlfriend was buying.
Dude. No, she wasn't. I don't do that. She doesn't. I mean, she bought. We went to Culver's afterwards for dessert, so she bought ice cream at Culver's. So there you go.
Did she at least spank the birthday boy?
I cannot confirm nor deny. I can neither confirm nor deny that there was anything fun that might have happened before or after one's birthday. So it was a good day, no matter what. All good. All good. All right.
Well, you can ask me in a couple weeks.
Yes.
And I can tell you if I'm happy or if I'm going to I'm going back to the way it was.
Over.
Okay. So everybody always talks about cutting the cord, saving money, on your television expenses.
Oh, yes.
Because cable nowadays is just way too expensive.
Crazy expensive. Yes. Everything is, but yes.
So because I couldn't understand it. They said you can, like see this show here, or you can watch it on Peacock, or you can see this show, or you can, see it, on Paramount for CBS.
Right. Right.
So I started looking, I go, I don't see any, yeah, you can watch them back, but I don't see them live.
They're not live.
Oh, yes, they are.
Oh, really?
But you have to pay a premium.
Oh,
You pay like an extra, like $7 a month. And then you get the local CBS channel
right.
or the local NBC channel.
Oh,
Now, see, we have Hulu also, and we had Hulu Live TV, but Hulu lets you see ABC, Fox shows, like if you like anything in prime time.
oh, sure. That's the live TV part. Yes.
No, but if you don't have the live TV, but you have Hulu, just the Hulu itself,
Right.
Fox, and also ABC shows, you can see back the next day.
Right. I've heard that. I don't have it, but I've heard that.
So I dropped the live because my wife always says, we've got to have the local channels. I want the local news. So
Yes, I hear you.
we now got CBS
Right.
and NBC on the two apps, the Peacock and the Paramount app,
Right.
along with all the movies and everything else you get with that. And we have now dropped the Hulu Live. So we'll be watching, all the ABC shows and things like
Right.
that back the next day.
I'm pretty sure I've asked this before and you don't have an answer for it. But if I asked you what you spent every month for your online entertainment bill between Hulu and Paramount and Peacock and whatever else you've got, that's got to be a ton of money, doesn't it? Isn't it?
Most of these apps really, of course, now I got the Supreme, which, now they're instead of like, I think that they're now like $10. Like with tax and everything else, I'm paying about $12 for Peacock and paying $12 for Paramount.
Right.
But I'm also live network television with that subscription.
Through Hulu, right?
No. Through Paramount,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
getting CBS.
Right.
And I'm getting NBC through Peacock.
I hate to tell you this, but you could just put an antenna up and watch the local broadcast, right?
Yeah. You want me to fall off a roof? That's what you're telling me.
No, I'm not. No.
Wait. Time out. I got one of those little doohickeys.
Right.
And I do get some local stations.
Right.
But I wanted, because if I have the other ones, I can watch shows back if I missed them. It's kind of hard to record with those little antennas.
Right. That's not the only, but that's probably the big thing that most people want. Like the Paramount and all that stuff, that you can watch what you want when you want. That's the important thing, the when you want part.
Because Bill, I'm a busy man.
Really?
Like, if I want to watch The Golden Bachelor,
right,
but I've got an engagement that evening,
right?
Maybe a night out with the friends, or
right?
Maybe a red carpet or somewhere where I am walking down the red carpet. I don't want to miss The Golden Bachelor. So I want it where I can come back the next day,
of course,
and watch my Golden Bachelor.
Of course, Mr. Odom. Of course.
I'm waiting for the Golden Bachelorette. That's going to be a hoot.
Oh man, please don't. Yeah, you and I could. Well, I could apply to be on the Golden Bachelorette. So there you go. All right. So anyway, this all started out with the idea of saving some money. So what, if anything, got cut?
I had Hulu Live. So I'm actually going to end up on my complete bill that I have been paying out.
Right.
Because I have those other services anyway, because I like to, you get to watch a lot of movies on those services.
Yeah.
So, and the wife and I will tell you that we are television people. Both of us are.
Yes, I know that about you. Yes.
And a lot of times, if it's sports, I'm in one room, the wife's in the other room, but we're still watching like movies or shows, or
Sure.
we're TV people.
Sure.
We survive off the TV. If the TV would go out, we might kill one another.
Might. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, good.
So,
Well, I don't know if it's good or not, but you have a system and it works for you. So there you go. That's a worthwhile expenditure at the Odom household.
yes, it's worth it. And we're spending, like some people go, you go to the movies and you spend X amount of dollars.
Sure.
It's our entertainment budget.
Okay.
But now with what I have done and, not getting live, Hulu live, getting just the playback part of Hulu, we're going to save probably around $40. So $40, is it a lot? No. But, if you save $40 a month for a year,
Right.
you got a little bit of extra change.
Well, you're saving 40, but you upped the other services. So
no, I'm talking about after I upped the other ones and lost the other one, I'm saving about $40.
okay, that's not bad.
And you
That's
know
not
what?
bad at all.
I could save another 15, 20 bucks. I could probably save another $20, but I have all my services. Of course, if you're watching a network show, it doesn't count, but like
Right.
Paramount,
Right.
Peacock, and Hulu, if I'm watching a show back that, from a previous time period,
Right.
no commercials.
Right. Right. I get it.
So I can see an hour show in 40 minutes now, 45, 42, whatever it is.
I have heard, and I haven't watched it in a long time. I have heard that Amazon Prime TV is going to start adding commercials, and that has cheesed off millions of their subscribers, and they are canceling Amazon left and right. And I've gotten the email on that, and I have Amazon Prime, and I don't watch it enough, and I'm wondering, should I be canceling this or not? Because I get Amazon deliveries, but not a lot. I mean, I know people and you're probably, I think you might be one of them, but I had friends down in Southwest Florida that the Amazon guy was there every day. Every day stuff was arriving at the house, and it was like, yeah, that's not for me. But okay, I mean, whatever.
We might average once a week. Might.
Oh, please. Once a week. Come on.
Once a week. Oh, by the way, not that anybody, like you said, no one else but you can see the television picture is because remember last week, if you were listening to the podcast, we did mention that my camera went haywire.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that. I can see your smiling face, and it's working perfectly today.
I notice it's HD, but as I look at myself in the HD just makes you look older.
Yes.
More wrinkly.
Yeah.
I think I like that real, like, kind of foggy, where I didn't look so, oh my God, I look at myself and I just want to jump out the window.
HD shows all the nooks and crannies and all the warts, everything.
Let me tell you. This, people, is why we do a podcast and we always did radio.
That is
because
correct.
This guy right here, I'm speaking only for myself, too freaking ugly for anyone to go out and see.
I'm not arguing with that for either of us. So yeah, I get. There's a guy on YouTube, and I forget his name, but he starts every show, and he kind of does it podcast style, where he's sitting at the desk with a microphone and all that. And his intro is, hi, my name is so and so, with a face for radio and a voice for print. I'm like, well, at least we had the voices for radio, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So just to put a bow on, just to finish the conversation, maybe it's not finished, about the whole cable thing. When football season ends, and it's pretty much over now because the only last game is on network television, I might I get YouTube TV. That's my main cable provider is YouTube TV. Now I also have Amazon Prime, and I also have Disney. So I understand the spending of money, for the stuff that you may or may not use. I'm thinking for the summer I could watch baseball, but it'll be on broadcast television probably. I think I might cut back the YouTube TV for the summer until football season starts again. I don't watch that much TV. I'm not like you. I'm not in front of the TV a whole heck of a lot. And if I am, I can throw YouTube up on my TV. It's a smart TV. I can just sit there with my iPad and throw the YouTube video up on there. And so I just might do that. And then I got Prime, and then I've got Disney. So, who knows?
A lot of people don't watch NASCAR. This car's going around in a circle. But
Step
I
on
think
the gas and turn left.
But it's not just NASCAR. I think it's going to start happening with a lot of sports, football, baseball, all those sports. But this season, you're going to see so many games on Fox. So many races on Fox.
Right.
And I can just see the NASCAR people because I know how they think. They're not like into this fancy apps and computers and stuff.
Oh, right.
But they are going to play 5 races on Prime.
On Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Right. That was the whole reason. Again, we were talking marketing before, with Taylor Swift and all that. You want to get people onto the streaming platforms where you make more money. That's exactly what Peacock did when they put that one Kansas City Chiefs game on, and it was only available on Peacock. And it was like, oh, it was such a success. And everybody said it would have been a bigger success. It would have been on free TV. So I get it. They're trying to kind of move people off of the free broadcast channels and onto the paid subscriptions. So you're saying you think the NASCAR audience might balk at the idea of having to pay for a streaming service. And you're probably right.
Yep. I know the way they think.
I get it.
I am one of those peoples.
You're one of those peeps. I get it.
So I think that's gonna be a difficult road for them, but I think it's gonna happen with all sports. I think it is a thing of the future. They're gonna start, going to more of these apps. And I'll tell you what, they say that network television viewing is down considerably.
I'm sure that it is.
And if they start putting all the sports now
right
on these apps, I think what we may know as I don't know if you call it the Big Four, because the fourth one came along, way after, but the Big Four networks,
broadcast networks.
As far as the local networks, I think they slowly maybe. But if you watch now, like you watch local channels now, they're doing more and more. They're trying to get that audience back, doing more and more local things like radio should be doing. But no, they're not doing that. They're playing more syndication and more voice tracking from outside the market.
Right.
But, I think the world of television, I know the world, even though radio doesn't want to admit it, the world of radio has definitely changed.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I remember, and I hope I don't, ruffle any feathers for people I know, but, I went to work, doing evenings at a radio station here in Central Florida.
Right.
And when I first got into radio, being the nighttime jock was kind of cool because that's when people called. That's when the request lines went crazy. That's when let's just call the station. I want to hear a song. And I did a request show and the calls trickled. Where before, if you would do a request show, say, hey, the phone lines are open, the lines would just light up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
They don't do that anymore. And this was it wasn't like this was a lame station, that nobody in the area listened to.
Right.
It was it was the top station in Polk County. Everybody, a majority of Polk County radio listeners listen to that radio station. And still, when I tried to, now if we did contest, because they always said you could put, crap on a stick, and if you said call to number 5 wins it, somebody's going to call to win it. But it just seems like doing a request show, the calls did not come in like they did back in the day.
Right. Yes. And that's, it's sad for us. I was going to say that, and that's so sad. It's sad for BJ and Bill because we're old guys and we remember the quote way it used to be, which Every time I hear somebody say that, I'm like, okay, boomer, I hear you. Yeah, I get it. So yes, is it good or bad? I don't know. It's just different. It's not the way we came up through the business, and our business, the way we remember our business, is gone. I'm not gonna say it's gone. It's very, very different than the way it used to be. I'm sure in major markets, in big cities, like if we were to go to Tampa or Miami, or you're right there in Orlando, they have they have morning shows that are,
They still generate
popular.
calls. Yes. Yeah.
They take the calls, they do the news, they're talking to the community, all the things that BJ and Bill used to do that made us the number one show for years and years and years. But see, I have to say, I'm sure some stations are still doing it, but I don't know because I don't listen.
But another thing too, though, back when, I think back even when you and I were doing a morning show together,
right?
The midday person was there. If the phone rang, they picked up the phone.
Of course.
The afternoon guy was there. If the phone rang, they picked up the phone. And the evening and over,
of course,
everybody answered their phones.
Of course.
Nowadays, even if someone's there, they're busy, they're doing other things. They might be, they don't answer the phone.
Mm.
So I think the public has gotten used to, well, why call the radio station? They're not going to answer when I call anyway. They're too busy for me.
You might be right. I mean, I don't, but see here, I am my own worst example because I don't listen to local radio anymore. I probably should just to see what's out there. But I have my Sirius XM radio and I have my Pandora on my phone and all of that. So I'm the guy, I'm like, yeah, I'm what's wrong with radio. I don't listen anymore to local radio. And is that good, bad? I don't know. Is it good, bad, or otherwise?
Well, if I'm on the road, taking a distance,
right.
I'm either listening to A, podcast, B,
right.
Muddy Country Radio.
Right.
Got to give them a plug. They're paying our bills.
Yep.
And also Shack Fu Radio.
Shack Fu Radio. We love Shack Fu Radio.
And I listen to that every now and again.
Do you really?
I'm at the age where it's every now and again.
Yeah, it's not my style. But
I like to hear the way the station is sounding though, because
right.
They still have Shack there.
Sure.
It's cool to listen to.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, when I drive over to visit the lady friend, it's a little more than an hour in the car. I got a podcast on every time. Every time I'm looking, because I've got about a half a dozen, along with, of course, BJ and Bill, the podcast. Then I've got another half a dozen that I'm, got lined up on my iPhone that I'm listening to and staying up with and all of that. And yeah, absolutely. So again, local radio, tough call. Even when I drive across country, I have got Sirius XM on. And I don't know that I'm going to keep them for long. But here's another old radio guy thing that I do like, is that when I listen to Sirius XM, I like that there's a live human there. Even though I'm thinking to myself, oh, they recorded this show, this morning at their house or whatever. It's still a live voice. And I still appreciate that. I still kind of like to hear a little bit about what they're thinking and what's going on and what's the latest from this artist or concert schedule or whatever. So anyway, old habits die hard.
Yeah, I still listen to old radio just to hear what it's doing.
Right.
But I listen, like I said, if I'm on the road going to Indiana or even going to Tampa, it's usually a podcast or, my son's Muddy Country Radio.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly ever listen to Shack Fu all the way to Tampa because, the wife's usually in the car too. And some of those songs just aren't appropriate for her.
They're not quite family friendly radio. Yes.
She's when it comes to verbiage, she's more conservative than wah.
I think I'd probably be on her side rather than yours.
So. I'll drop a few F-bombs every now and again during the day.
I'm
not going to lie to you people.
All right. Well, we'll give BJ. What's that?
But I do want to give myself credit.
Yes.
I drop a lot of F-bombs. I admit it, but I try not to. And I don't know. I just feel guilty when I do. I don't use a lot of the Lord's name in vain. That I stay away from.
Okay.
But you give me an F-bomb, I'll fire that off in a heartbeat.
All right, we'll give BJ a chance to catch up on his F-bomb quotient for a moment. I'm going to go refill my coffee, and we will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That is the F-bomb king, BJ Odom, over there. No, he's fine. He's fine. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, stop over and visit us at our Facebook page. Just do a search for BJ and Bill. As I always remind you, you got to spell out the and. BJ AND Bill podcast at Facebook. Same with the Gmail address, BJ and Bill podcast at gmail.com. And of course, please, we implore you to leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever. That 5-star review really helps to get the word out. You were telling me last week that some radio guy actually had been listening to us.
Yeah. Big voice guy. I forget what his name. Now I can't remember
I don't remember either. Yeah, I can scroll back. Because actually, it was a name I didn't recognize. That doesn't mean anything.
He's one of the big voice guys, when you listen to a lot of radio stations, especially a lot of country stations.
Really?
It's his voice that you hear, saying, we're playing today's greatest country music ever.
Really?
He actually has a much better voice than I just used.
Well, that's all right. I mean, I hear you. So
John Willard, that's it. John Willard.
What's that?
John Willard.
John Willard. Okay.
He also, like, if you watch like the CMAs on television,
yep,
his voice is the voice you will hear.
Oh. And that's it. That's perfect because yes, I just scrolled back on the text that you sent me last week about it, and it's John Willard. Yes, I see that. How interesting.
I was just impressed myself that he like reached out to me.
Radio guy
would. Hey, I'm listening to your podcast and talking, and he was talking about something we were talking about. So it wasn't like I listened to your podcast just to suck up to me.
Right.
He actually was.
He actually quoted something that showed that he had been listening. Well, good. Well, John, if you need some voice talent, don't call us. But yeah, no, you can always call BJ and Bill, and we'll be happy to help you out with another project or whatever. So yeah. And that's an interesting, I was thinking about that the other day because I was reading, yes, I actually read. I was reading a good article on AI. And I saw, in fact, I watched a podcast interview about AI, and it made me read a little bit more about it. The stuff that they can do now with AI with voices is scary good. Like, you can program it. It will listen to BJ Odom talk for a while. You can just read it a few lines, and then it will start to spit back whatever you tell it to, and it will sound just like BJ Odom. So I don't know what the voice, the quote unquote voice business is going to be like in a few years. Because when all of these AI things come around, you can okay, you want the voice of John Wayne, you want the voice of Marilyn Monroe, you want the voice of Bill Clinton. I'm just pulling names out of a hat, but you can, and you won't be able to tell that it's not them, which is pretty awesome. So
it's funny you speak of this thing called AI.
Because
we've talked about this on the podcast. People have come to me and says you should write a book.
Right.
I've thought about it, but I can't write a book.
Right.
I'm thinking with AI, of course, it would still be a process, It wouldn't happen overnight. There'd be a lot of information I'd have to give AI.
Yes.
But I'm thinking AI might be able to write my autobiography.
Now that is a really, really good question. And I know that the Podcast Playground has an AI podcast, right?
Yes.
You might want to contact the guys behind that and see if that's something they could help you with, if they have, because I'm sure you're right. I mean, the only question would be, how would now that I think about it, you could literally have the AI interview you, and you could set up a script, questions, whatever. And I've played with it a little bit, and it's freaking amazing and scary at the same time. It's both. But you can tell it, okay, today we're working as a copywriter and we're writing a 60-second commercial for our local Ford dealership, and they're having a sale on blah, 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 blah. So give me 60 seconds worth of copy about that. Go ahead and write it. Bang. And it will spit that out in a matter of seconds. And it's good. It's not perfect. It doesn't have a lot of personality to it. No surprise. But you could start with that. You could use that as your basis and then just change it a little bit here and there. So yeah, you could do that. You could have the AI interview BJ Odom. Ask me about my childhood. Ask me about my medical history. Ask me about my radio career. Get detailed with it. And then it would start interviewing you. And then you could, boy, this is getting scary now that we could do that. But that's a cool idea. That's a very cool idea.
I don't know if I should even say this. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
But you know, with the podcast playground and all the other entities that the podcast playground have with it.
Yes.
A lot of technical computerized stuff is, used.
Of course.
Which means there's a lot of code writing, which maybe you as a computer person know a lot about code. Maybe you don't.
I know what it is and why it is and all that. But if you were to ask me to actually do it, no, I'd be a dinosaur on that. So anyway, code with the podcast playground. Yes.
So some of their things are needing, the code's written better. There's some glitches in the code.
Right.
There is now a program, an AI program where you can upload your code.
Right.
They will correct it. You can tell them what you want your code to do.
Yes.
It will fix it.
Yes.
That is going to that is a good occupation that makes really good money, people.
For a little while longer. Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe the Matrix where the computers take over. It's not that far away, people.
Somebody, and this was on the podcast that I watched. This is like, okay, is it, remember the old commercial? Is it live or is it Memorex? Is it real or is it not? And in the old days, I'm going to get a little geeky on you here. In the old days, there was a thing called the Turing test, and it was Turing. It was named for a scientist, Alan Turing, who was in World War II, who broke the Nazi code to help the Allies win World War II. That's how far back it goes. Anyway, when the computers were just getting started, he came up with this idea that if you communicate like when you text somebody, you can't see their face, you can't hear their mouth move. All I'm doing is texting back and forth with BJ Odom. Okay. If I put a computer in place of BJ Odom, can Bill, who is texting back and forth with the computer, recognize whether this is a human or a computer? And if the computer can not fool you, if you can't tell, if Bill, the human, can't tell that it's a computer or it's the real BJ, Turing test. It passed the test. So now they're doing this with real computers and AI, and they blow it out of the water. They're like, oh no, that doesn't even count anymore. That's not even a good enough test anymore. So you're right. All of this is leading up to the point of, yeah, everybody who thought their jobs were safe, every customer service agent, I know that the customer service bots that you hear when you call the bank or whatever, they're terrible. Give it 2 or 3 years. It'll be so good, you won't be able to know the difference. Same with coding, same with everything. Same with you call your doctor's office to schedule an appointment. And I feel a little bad. Oh, BJ, we heard a cough there. Are you okay? Can we help you with something? And that will be the computer. It will be.
Well, this, we don't do politics here.
Much.
But what was it? The primary, where was the New Hampshire primary?
Yep.
Where AI actually had Biden calling people saying, don't need to vote.
Thousands of phone calls of a computer voice that sounded like the president telling them not to vote. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? And that's where it's going to be.
It's going to get worse as we get closer to election day.
And again, I'm pretty sure same podcast, and I may have already mentioned this. In fact, it sounds familiar as I think about it. But this year's election 2024. Okay, we're okay. It's bad, but it's not like you said. You're going to have voice imitations and crap like that. Next election, 2028, it's going to be so bad they're going to have to do something to make sure that we know that it's the real person talking. Because if not, in 4 years, the AI will be so good, you will have authentic, perfect-looking images of whoever is the president standing on the roof of the White House screaming at UFOs as they pass by. I mean, it's just your wildest imagination, and you won't be able to tell it's fake.
Maybe the smart thing, even in this election,
Mm.
maybe we should just vote in an AI.
Right? And hope
Have an AI run the country.
And hope they don't take over the world.
Mr. AI president,
right.
We're maybe in war with this country. What would be the best way to get out of it? Okay, let me take over.
Yeah, I got this. We're
done now. I got it all figured out.
And not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Here's why it won't work. There's no money in it. Nobody makes a profit from it.
I don't know, but
I know. The reason there are wars is because people make a lot of money from them. I'm sorry, it's true. You can't tell me otherwise. The reason that wars happen is because there is money to be made. War is good for business.
Gonna be sad here. I don't know. It's getting crazy again. I'll tell you one thing though. And I don't want to get political on this show.
And yet here we go.
But I want to make a statement as someone who leans, I say, to the left. A lot of times in, presidential elections, before Trump came along, I always voted for the Libertarian Party.
Right.
And since he has come along, I have voted for the Democratic Party, no matter who it was.
How you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
At the moment. But I'll tell you what, in this next election, if Republicans, in my opinion, were to get very smart and very intelligent.
Politicians getting intelligent. We're already out on a limb here.
I know we're already, but I think they're going to nominate the wrong person.
Okay.
Because if they would nominate the other person that they have a chance to nominate, I think a lot of people that, like I said, I lean a little to the left.
A little to the left. Okay.
I think I would vote for the person on the right let's just say if they were under 70 years old.
Gotcha. I love the fact that they're not.
Maybe even if I'm saying if they were under 65 years old.
Would it also be a female or no?
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, okay. So
I'm just saying.
Really? So you could vote for, let's just say it, you could vote for Nikki Haley.
Yes.
I thought I could, and then I learned a little bit more. And I'm like, nope. Another one who, in my opinion, and again, you're right, maybe we shouldn't do politics. So maybe I'll just let that sleeping dog lie. I've read enough to know that she would not be what I would want in the White House.
Yeah, but is there anything? But in your opinion, is there anything running?
No, there is nothing. I kind of liked, what's his name? Vivek Ramaswamy. I kind of liked him. He was young. He had good ideas. I kind of liked him. I'm sorry he didn't catch on, because the other ones are all standard Washington inside. Let's go to war. Let's make money. Let's tell people what to do. Politicians. And that's on both sides. They both suck badly.
Yeah. No, you know what? Okay. I still think, and we're going to talk a little politics here. I still think too, if someone just came out of left field as an independent that really had some intelligence and had some, charisma and had some name recognition.
Oh, really?
I think they could do it.
You mean like, I don't know, a Kennedy?
I think it needs to be I don't think it needs to be a Kennedy. I think it needs to be a name outside of politics.
He's running, right? Okay.
Yeah, I just want
to make sure that BJ knows that there is a Kennedy in the race right now, and he's running as an independent. Yes. Yes.
If one other person was not in the race, I would vote for him.
If one other person was not in the race. The one I just mentioned, the one we were talking about?
No, the one that will probably be in the race instead of the one we were just talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just can't do that. I know that pisses people off.
Yeah.
But I would just as soon jump in a lake and drown myself with alligators before I pulled his lever. I would swim with alligators.
I would.
Believe me.
I hear you. I totally hear you. And yet there are a lot of people out there, myself kind of included. I'm not there yet. Don't get on my case, people. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm saying I'm now considering it, whereas 4 years ago it was, oh, hell no. And now it's, I'm thinking about it because things are so bad now that I don't, just in the immortal words of the Joker from the Batman movies, burn it all down. Burn it all down. And let's start over again.
Well, that's what he'll do.
And that's what he would do. That's what the orange guy would do. He probably would. And I'm almost, not saying I'm there yet. I'm this close, and I'm holding two fingers really close together. I'm that close to saying, do it. Just do it.
Well, I do think we need to start over again. Maybe that,
right?
Maybe that would set the reset button.
Right?
No, I just think it would. Now, you know what's sad though? Both parties are just, both parties are going to continue to be the way they are. And the sad thing is,
they're in it for the money.
People in the country are going to continue to vote for the two parties.
Yep.
And so nothing will ever change as long as we keep voting for the two parties.
You are correct, sir. You are totally 100% correct. And I don't say that about BJ Odom very often. You are 100% correct. They are two sides of the same coin. And we think, oh no, it's been 4 years with this guy. Let's vote for this other guy because he'll be better. No, it won't. Until big changes are made, it won't get any.
Just don't make me swim with alligators.
Don't make me swim with alligators.
Don't.
No guarantees. No promises.
I'm
old. No promises.
I'm old. I'm feeble. The Gators are going to win.
Yes, they are. You will be a snack. You will be an appetizer for a handful of gators in your backyard pond. Absolutely. All right. I'm a little sorry we had to delve into politics there, but I'm not a lot sorry. I hope people have like an awakening, an opening. Oh my gosh, it's really been terrible for forever now, hasn't it?
Somebody said something very, very intelligent to me.
Uh-oh.
They said, there is a law that you can't be under 35 and become president.
That's correct.
There should be a law you can't be over 65 and be a president. Once you start getting Social Security, you're done. You're can't be the president.
Totally agree. Totally. There should be a mandatory retirement age for everybody in politics. And I didn't know this, but the federal government does not have a mandatory retirement age. You can work until you're 90, God forbid.
You can work until you don't have any brain cells.
Well, we've seen that happen, haven't we? But yes. So that's that and term limits. That and term limits have got and I want to see your financials. I want to see your financials. I'm Elizabeth Warren. She earns $250,000 a year. Her net worth has increased by $20 million in the time she's been in the Senate. How the hell does that happen?
You don't know.
Now you got me doing it. Now you got me going off on it.
At least you didn't drop an F-bomb like VJ.
I know. I felt like it. I really kind of was feeling the urge. And I'm not saying it's just her. It's all of them. They're all in it for the money and their own personal gain and their own personal power. And that's to stop. And I don't know how that works.
But see, the voters
in Congress is going to vote for their own term limits.
Yeah. So there's no fixing it. Maybe you might have a point. Just blow the whole thing up.
Burn it all down. Leave the buildings. Neutron bomb. Leave the buildings. Get rid of the humans. Not in a violent way. I'm not advocating for violence against your government, people. I don't come knocking at my door. I don't want men in black at my door here.
This is the FBI.
Yeah, I'm just saying, let's make some changes here and get this country back on an even keel, please.
It's not gonna happen.
I am
Not while the people in Washington are still in Washington. There's no way you can get them out because they make the rules.
And I've said this before, and I don't know if I've said it on the show or with friends. I'm glad I am the age that I am.
Oh, I've said that a million times.
You and I have talked about this.
But I've got
if we were young people coming up and trying to make a life for ourselves and our families now, it would be a nightmare. It would, to see what's going on and to see the abuses, it would be a nightmare. And I'm kind of like at this point going, you know what? I'm now 67 years old or whatever the hell I was yesterday. It's not for me to fix anymore. It's not for me to fix. So
youngins get to work.
Apparently these politicians continue to serve into their 90s or whatever. Who the hell knows? But yeah.
Yeah, it should be. If they want to make it 35, make it 35, but then make the top end 65. What does that give you? 35, 45? Only gives you 20 years, doesn't it?
30 years.
30 years. Yeah, 30 years, then you're
30 years. That's enough. That's enough. And with term limits, by the way.
But I think, though, you can be in Congress or the Senate younger than 35, right? Yeah, you can.
Yes. It's just president that's 35. You're right. I mean, it's been a long time since.
How come he has to be 35 and the rest of the yo-yos can be whatever age?
Go figure. I like the AI. I think you're onto something with the AI idea but again, nobody in Washington would approve of that because they're not going to make any money now. They're not going to make any money. So, all right, we're just beating this dead horse to death. So I'm sorry, people, that we got involved with politics, but there you go. BJ and Bill just had to vent for a little bit there.
Yeah, I feel better.
All right. You feel better now? Do you?
Yep.
You got friends coming over. Let's talk something fun. You're wearing your Rensselaer. You are wearing a baseball hat that says Rensselaer. I can't read the top. Rensselaer, Indiana.
What is it? What does it say? I don't even know what it says.
It says I can't read it. I can't read it. Take it off. See what it says.
Let's see. It says an American original.
An American original. And it's not a red hat. So Rensselaer, Indiana. So you have friends coming from Indiana today, and your wife wants nothing to do with it.
Well, it's all guys anyway.
Oh, it's all guy. Okay. Well, she had the girls' party last week. Yeah. She had the girls' night out or week out.
And she goes, all you guys are going to do is talk about, people and places and things that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, probably so.
Probably so, yeah.
Do you remember back in the day when, John come over in his M tractor and he'd be plowing out the fields and he'd say, holy birds, I found me a nest of them bees out there and they all tried to sting me. I remember that man the day he came in, he just had bee stings all over.
I have a friend like that who I went to high school and college with. He's in Dallas now. Shout out to you, Tim Werner, wherever you are. Shout out to Tim. And he does that to me. We'll have a phone conversation every couple of, every couple of months. We don't check in a lot, but every couple of months, and we still good friends. And he'll do that. He'll have the story. You remember when blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I don't remember. But he's got all the names, all the events right on the tip of his brain. And so I'm assuming he's way smarter than me, or at least has a bunch better memory than me. So yeah, that's your next couple of days is talking to these guys.
Just a day, just.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I'll tell you that, like all these people know my parents, and I know all their parents, and it's like, so then you can talk about, oh man, I remember your dad when they did, yeah.
Yep.
So all that's going to probably go down today.
Yep. This guy knew my parents too. So yeah, I totally get it. I totally get that. And it's like, oh my God, it hurts my brain. It hurts my brain when he starts pulling those. I mean, I appreciate them. I love them. I love the guy. I kind of like hearing the stories a little bit, but then when he starts questioning me about it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know.
Well, my problem is too, I moved over 40 years ago to Florida.
Right.
So they'll go, you know what? Nope. You remember? Nope. You remember? Nope. But we'll mostly probably talk about our families because, they're all intertwined. And
Okay, good. That's good.
Hopefully that'll be it. Or they might be talking. I'll be going, what the heck are these people talking about?
In the last year, I've joined a Facebook group for my college alumni from the time that I was there. And we're literally talking 45 years ago, 47 years ago. I was, in college in Ohio. And I'm like, I'm sure if I went to campus, I wouldn't recognize a thing. And obviously nobody would be there no human would be there that I remember, because anybody that was a teacher or a professor, they've probably been dead for 20 years or whatever. So
well, I've got my 50th class reunion coming up.
Wow.
In June.
Wow.
And I have the paper to fill out, but it's like $75 a couple.
Yep.
And I keep going, can I wait till I find out how I'm feeling, like in May before I send this money?
And where will it'll be in Indiana?
Yeah,
of course.
It'll be in Indiana. Yeah. Rensselaer.
Wow.
The city in which I graduated.
Of course.
And I apologize, people, but that's what happened. That's where I came from. Only I was one of the few that learned, there's roads to leave.
Roads go both ways. You can leave or you can come through. Yeah. So you left. And there's not, believe me, there's no shame in finding greener pastures, to use the farming analogy. There's no shame in going somewhere for more opportunity or whatever. And you and I both did that. I mean, lots of people did it. Lots of people did it. So that's okay. No big deal.
I don't know if I did to prosper. I just did it to get out of the freaking cold weather.
That too. Yeah. All right. Look at that. We filled an hour with our various rantings and ravings about football and politics and everything else. Awesome.
And I apologize for the political, because we never go political.
No, you're so right. Apologies if you were not offended, but if you're like, gee, BJ and Bill talking politics, that's a little smelly. So
we'll never do it again. Yeah, that was
never.
My stomach is still like churning from it. It's just
never do it again. Never.
I'll be going. I know I'm going to go to the alligator. I know I'm going to go try to find some alligators today. I'm just going to.
November is coming.
I'm just going to jump in the water. Just going to say, "Come on, get me now, gators, get me now,
take me now, take me." What? That was a TV series. What was that? Yeah. Take me now. All right. You all have yourself a great week. Start thinking about that Super Bowl betting, because I'm sure we'll talk more about that next week, and find some of the various bets that you can. Who scores first? How long does the national anthem last? All of that stuff. So there you go. You figure that out, folks. Have a great week, and we'll be back. Up till then, just for BJ Odom to say,
see ya!